In Activity 8, Inside a Flower, students dissect flowers and discover the role of each part in the production of seeds. Students first observe pea plant blossoms, then dissect a flower and identify its parts. Finally, they discuss the functions of various male and female parts of a flower. You will need the following materials from the kit: Activity Sheet 8, magnifiers, and Pea Life Cycle pictures. You will also need to provide Activity Sheet 6 from Activity 6, pea plant from Activity 2, a flower, either a lily, daffodil, tulip, gladiolus, or other large flower, small pairs of scissors, a felt tip marker, paper towels, and a single-edge razor. To prepare for the activity, make a copy of Activity Sheet 8 for each student. Retrieve the Pea Life Cycle pictures from Activity 2. Set aside the pictures of the mature plant and the mature plant with flowers for use in this activity, and keep the remaining pictures for use in Activity 9. Wait to begin the activity until after the students' pea plants from Activity 2 have flowers with prominent stamens and pistils. You will also need a large, complete, deep-throated flower, such as a lily or tulip with prominent stamen and pistil for each team of 2. To begin the activity, bring students' attention to the Pea Life Cycle chart begun in Activity 2. Redistribute each student's copies of Activity Sheet 6 and have students refer to the data they collected on those activity sheets. Ask students, what can we now add to our Pea Life Cycle chart? Students should suggest adding a larger plant, a plant with flowers, or a plant with seed pods. From the Pea Life Cycle pictures, show students the picture of the mature plant, then the picture of the plant with flowers. Invite a volunteer to show where to place the mature plant on the chart. Then tape it in place, write mature plant beneath it, and draw an arrow pointing from the seedling to the mature plant. Instruct students to retrieve and observe their pea plants from Activity 2. Ask students what change has taken place on your plants. Students should note that their pea plants now have flowers. Explain that a flower is the reproductive structure of a seed plant and encourage students to recall other flowers they have seen. Next, introduce the term petal as the exterior foliage of a flower, and define the term pistil as the female organ of the flower and the stamen is the male part of the flower. Make sure if any students are allergic to pollen, have them skip the flower dissection. Give each team of 2 a magnifier, a pair of small scissors, a paper towel, and a fresh flower. Instruct students to locate the petals and then to use the scissors to carefully remove the petals from the flower. Bring students' attention to the center of the flower and challenge them to locate the pistil and stamens. When all teams have correctly identified the flower parts, guide students to remove the stamens with the scissors. Have them shake the stamens upside down onto the paper towel. Ask students, what do you observe? Students should have noticed that a fine powder falls from the stamens. Inform the class that pollen is the powder that fell off the stamens. Then ask, how many pistils can you find in your flower? Students should have observed that there is only one pistil in the flower. Next, using a razor, cut open the ovaries at the base of the pistil from your lily flower. Do not allow students to handle the razors. Invite students to observe the insides, in particular the developing eggs. Encourage students to think about the function of a flower and explain that the stamen produces pollen and the pistil produces eggs. Then inform the class that pollen must join with an egg to reproduce. Ask students, how do you think pollen is carried from one flower to another? Help students understand that bees, butterflies, and other insects carry pollen from flower to flower on their legs. Go on to explain that some flowers have brightly colored petals or strong, sweet smells to attract bees and other insects. Once the pollen reaches the pistil, it falls into the bottom of the pistil, where the egg is. When the pollen joins with the egg begins to change. Ask students, what do you think the egg changes into after the pollen joins with it? Accept all suggestions and let them know that they will find out the answer in the next activity. Next, give each student a copy of Activity Sheet 8 and instruct them to label the parts of the flower. When they have finished labeling the flower parts, return students' attention to the Pea Life Cycle chart. Ask students, what should we add to the chart now? Students should suggest adding the picture of the pea plant with flowers. Invite a volunteer to place the picture on the chart and tape the picture in place. Write the words mature plant with flowers beneath it. Then draw an arrow from the mature plant to the plant with flowers. Finally, tell students that in the next activity, Plant Life Cycle, they will calculate and record data on seed production. To conclude the activity, instruct students to discard the flowers and paper towels and return the magnifiers to the kit. Also, have them return their pea plants to their position under the light source. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the Delta Science Reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.